shave. I feel like a bum. For me, it was at Berlin. Like, it was our first holiday. We went out, the four of us. And then we were just, did the normal tourist and things, then sat down at a bar, a few beers later. It was almost like an American teen film. It was just sort of let's start a band. So, we got back. I picked up my bass for the first, time Miller gave me. Went to Miller's, played a couple of songs in his room. And then we went to Barcelona. Went to Barcelona for another holiday to a festival called Primavera. And we were just dumbstruck by the bands there. So that sort of really kicked us into gear, into getting our own instruments, getting a room, getting recording time done. And that's where it properly jetted off from there.
I don't know. I don't know about this Berlin tour. Or unless you just told me about being in a band 6 months and I just missed. No wonder it was behind 8 Ball. I was wondering why it was for so long. But no, I only found out about it around June. I came home from Primavera and, someone probably texted me, you're in a band, meet in town.
The origins of the band, probably when we used to exchange records and that, when we were a lot younger. And when you used to come around to ours and that, we'd listen to music and that's all we did. Before anyone says anything. Yeah, sort of in sixth form, about 16 maybe, when we were swapping records, as frequently as we could. We were swapping stuff there was a lot more lo-fi that we felt like we could sort of emulate stuff like Beat Happening, the sort of C86 stuff as well, bands like the Shop Assistants, Flatmates, stuff like that, which very naively we thought we could do. But it evolved over time and then tastes grew a little bit more. That's the origins of it.
The first time I played a gig was in Mellow Mellow. And it was a couple, we had, as a band, there was a couple of gigs before that, but this was my first gig. And I remember we had a particular song called Dry Blood, which requires a bass solo at the start in conjunction with the guitar. And I just completely f***ed it up. It was embarrassing how badly I messed it up. And it was just another part of the evening that didn't go well because the bill we were on was just ridiculous as well. We had a guy on pianos, an Australian pianist on headliner. Then we had some guy who worked behind the bar, just on an acoustic guitar, and then us with our pedal boards and reverbed drums just coming in and just ruining everyone's good time. But yeah, that was my earliest memory of performing live anyway.
Well, first off, I'm just happy that we're playing around town as opposed to the Garston Legion or something. So we're in the right postcode. But yeah, some gigs have been better than others. Obviously, as I said, supporting acts that we like and being on bills, playing under those kind of indie bands, because when you first start, it's a lot of playing with rock bands and stuff, and then there's just us, and everyone's like, what are they doing here? Yeah, I think recently we're getting used to consistently getting good shows, like Sound City Festival, this, etc. So yeah, we're getting better at it, I think.
The moment it kind of dawned on me was probably after the first few gigs didn't really seem like a real band. It was kind of gigs anyone could have been doing. But the first time I ever kind of really thought we were a proper band was when we were opening for a band from New York called Widow Speak. And they were kind of a fairly well-established band. I think by that point they'd had a record out, the first LP was out, and it was kind of half critically acclaimed. But yeah, I think that was the first time it really dawned on me, because that was something we always wanted to do. Well, kind of a perk of the job, I always thought. If you were kind of in an up-and-coming band, was getting to support these people. We used to go and watch a band in Manchester called Golden Glow. who would be opening for like a lot of the New York punk bands that we'd go and see. So bands like Crystal Stilts and Crocodiles and Dum Dum Girls, The Drums, they'd be opening for bands that we loved when we were sort of growing up. And like it was the first time we got to do that. So that was the first moment really I thought we were a formidable band.
It was after we got back from Berlin was the first time I played it, but the amount of practice that we had wasn't as long, really, because we only picked up our instruments, and then 3 months later we started gigging. Yeah. So like, we were still just getting used to the instruments, let alone having to deal with the pressures of playing live as well. So yeah, so it was just down to just sheer inexperience, really, which is still an issue today as well, but not as bad.
That was like after we'd done like 3 months of just writing songs and practicing to try and play our first gig, and we ended up having like this set of 6 songs that we like really naively we went to a studio to record them rather than doing it ourselves. But yeah, we went to the studio anyway and did like the 6 songs that we had in our live set, and then it kind of ended up being our first demo. Sort of, again, naively again really, I kind of sent a song to them because they put out Golden Glow's LP the year earlier, so they were kind of like on my own radar anyway. But yeah, it was unusual to get a response from any label, and they kind of responded quite positively quite early on. And then like a month or so later I sent them another song that we'd made into a video, and they just said they were going to put them out. It's just really nice of them, you know, they do that quite a lot really, they just kind of pluck bands out of the air really, and yeah, it's kind of a new label that's like gaining a bit of a reputation for putting out good stuff. It was nice to be a part of it anyway, so early on. It was definitely reassuring for us we were doing something right, you know. So, yeah.
First time we ever recorded was in some guy's loft behind Toys R Us down on the dock with a guitarist called John. And John he's like quite an acclaimed musician in Central Asia, because I think he's the second guitarist or like the main guitarist for a Muslim singer. I can't remember his name, but it's like a huge Muslim musician. And he's played gigs in Indonesia in front of like 250,000 people. So he's like had a fantastic music career, and I think he just does this as a pastime. We all really enjoyed the recording process. It was just a huge break. And then we went to some catman's loft in the middle of Ellesmere Port, some absolute meth. I don't know why we did. And then it just wasn't as fun because we couldn't have a joke with the guy because he was a and then we had Joe as a drummer who was a well, and then yeah, there's a lot of and then we were just sitting there most of the time, just twiddling our thumbs or going to KFC, which was I'm not complaining about, but the KFC bit, but yeah, it just wasn't as fun. And then now we recorded with a guy called Sam from Chemistry Lane. Where was it? Was it Chester? In Chester, in his back garden. Still lives with his mum. And yeah, it was more enjoyable because it was nice outside. Like we could go have a break if we wanted to, and we just did it quite separately. Like it didn't mind to us if Josh wanted to go record his vocals on his own, and we all just stayed in Liverpool. It was like nothing was restricted by time, if anything. So yeah, so it was more enjoyable. And Sam actually is a really good producer as well.
Recording experiences, the early ones, they were sound, not like the songs, they sounded rubbish, but it was. I had a good time, you know. The lad was a good fella, made a top-notch cup of tea, like, so that was good. And yeah, we were a bit out of our depth recording that early after picking up our instruments. I think I was drumming for a couple of weeks, and then we recorded songs. I think I took a full day doing the drums, so it wasn't that productive. Yeah, so it was an experience, a learning curve. So.
Ian, Josh, Tom, there we go.
bass, lead singer, drummer.
Not big guitar.
Yeah,
I'm North.
Yeah, me and him are from North Liverpool. He's the south. We all met in
School was like the main place, wasn't it?
yeah, an all boys Catholic school. Just to out there.
all boys Catholic school,
Hence
run
the
by
trauma.
brothers.
And it's our general psyche.
First started playing synth when I was about a year ago when we started the band. First synth I ever got was this Casio.
Do you know it was the one or?
I've still got it in my bedroom.
Yeah, 20 quid Casio.
Yeah,
That got us further than it should have, I think.
the last
It was a toy, like.
Yeah.
Battery operated little. So that was when it began.
I did music, yeah, when I was a kid. I started when I was like 8. And then just kind of, I hated it for a while, for the end of the teens. And then when I moved away for uni, and I don't know why, we just thought it'd be a good idea. And I kind of got back into it. And then it didn't make sense, because like, I had like a classical thing, it didn't make sense to get like proper musicians in. So I thought the best thing we could do was just to get the mates, like a group of people that couldn't play. Just like, it'd be a totally different environment. It was hard though.
No pressure,
It was a lot
pressure
harder.
to succeed, really,
Yeah,
was it?
it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, but it was worth it.
We all knew each other at different times. Like, I knew Tom from year 7, knew him from about year 10 onwards, and then I didn't know Wyndham until about year 11. So it was just like a gradual thing where we all just joined in together.
We were only really all made together last year at 6 months.
Yeah,
not that much though.
We started going to shows together and see like just like the punk bands in Manchester, like New York bands who come, like stuff like Crystal Still for the drums and that.
Yeah, and they wouldn't play Liverpool, so we trained it there.
Did the last train back.
And then that's kind of how started being punk bands.
Yeah,
There's Miller who
I think
started.
it was all, as you were saying earlier, it was always like a thing when you're like young and listen to music and that, you always want to do it. If you're young, for a group of young lads, you want to do that, don't you? But
Yeah, everyone says it.
when it actually became like, right, let's actually do it, it was probably,
Just like June, it'd have to be a year after we left school.
yeah.
For like 2 years, it was just kind of like an idea.
I reckon you should plan it, because I was just the last to know. A week before we started.
To be, you're the last to know
That's still
about
the
it.
case, you're the last to know about today.
I think
You don't know why we're doing this.
No, I've no idea what's happening.
We made the video for the single with a Liverpool production company called Freaky Films. Yeah, it was like a really weird experience. I can't really remember that much of it. It seemed to happen so fast. We just went down to their office one night and then played the song a couple of times, and they got this very good video, and they laid a film over it called Dreams That Money Can Buy. Yeah, we got this first video.
We never thought within 18 months we'd have a vinyl out, have an EP out, have a single out, be followed in the 4 corners of the world, and to be playing the gigs that we are as well.
We've done a lot of my initial expectations and beyond, to be honest. We played the show, that happened, played, quite a few of them now, so. And then we had a vinyl out as well, like someone put it out for us. We didn't just, give it to people on the street, an actual, with a label and stuff, so, yeah. I know it's like the thing to say, oh, just happy with what we're doing and, take it day by day, but it kind of is for me. I don't think we've got like ambitions to like step on people to be the biggest band in the country or anything like that. We're just happy being us, playing music.
Nice one. Oh, there's a few more. Yeah.